Hi there, Brian Hawkins, Next Step Survival, and I've been promising this for about a week now. It's my prepper pantry tour. It's a small 12 by 12 room in our house, and I've got 8 or 9 uh, wire racks in here that we keep our preps in. And I did a video, I think it was last weekend, but I got from the feedback that I was moving too fast, too jerky, hand movement, and the sound quality sucked. So I apologize if that happened again. I bought 2 different gimbals, I think they're called, stabilizers. Only one came, one's supposed to be here later on today. And I gave this a shot, and this was moving around. I mean, it's motorized, so it tries to keep up. And it's going to take some practice, so I just set that aside. I didn't do it. I am using this Rode microphone, so hopefully it's cutting down some of the background noise. I tried to pause the video when I was moving bins around. I've already recorded this, by the way. I'm doing my intro last. And moving things around, so I tried to pause the video so that noise wouldn't come through as hard as it did on the last video. It was just horrible. So I don't blame anybody from complaining about that. But I have another one of these coming. I have another microphone. I bought a wireless mic that I have to learn how to use, and a couple of lapel mics. So we're set. I had a big old camera bag, just all for a phone, and I have an extra phone. So I didn't buy that, but I already had the phone. So in the future, I think the videos are going to improve gradually as we go by. So hopefully that wasn't too, or it doesn't get too annoying, because there's not a lot of room to move around. So I tried to move real nice and slow. But we do rotate our food. I mentioned putting the dates on there, so I want to be clear with that. That's always one of the questions we get. We rotate our food. The inventory, it was the last video, and we don't keep an app or a notebook or anything. Everything's in clear view, so it's my in plain sight inventory style. And when we buy food, we just rotate it. Now I know there's fancy racks or rotation racks and containers and stuff, but I haven't done any of that. I actually enjoy it, so I come in here when we go shopping, bring the bags and boxes in here, kick up some AC/DC, and I just have fun in here. So this is enjoyable to me. It's not work, if that makes any sense. I'm a very exciting person. That's my idea of a very fun Friday night or Saturday night. Alright, so on to the video, or onto the prepper pantry tour. Alright, so I think I'm going to start at the door and the wall. So I built this wall, and I never finished it. I didn't paint it, I didn't put molding or trim up. I just left it like that because it's temporary. We have family living with us right now. And this is what I kind of had to do, because we lost our bedrooms. But when they move out, we'll have 3 bedrooms to deal with, and everything get moved in to those, and that wall will come back down. That bookcase right there is a hallway going back into those 3 bedrooms. And here's a first aid kit and a key box. And I'm the kind of person that thinks it's got to be pretty organized, or I will lose sleep. So it's a commercial first aid kit. It's pretty well stocked. I also have a couple of first aid packs. I need to do a video on that one on the left. That's a 511 Rush 72. And I originally had that for my bug out bag, and it turned out when I was hiking it just was horrible. So our bug out bags are regular hiking packs now. And I'll go through stuff like the bins here shortly. This used to be my grow rack or seat starter, but I've since went to tents, grow tents, and that's why that light's there. That top shelf right there, and most of that shelf up there, the top one, is bulk and overflow. So it's a lot of it's cases. So when we buy something because it went on sale, generally I'll buy a case at a time, and if it won't fit on the shelves, it usually gets stacked up there. Then I have all that Augustin Farms all in the back. It's Mountain House and Thrive Life. And they advertise 15 to 30 year shelf life for that stuff. I'm in a prepper group, and some of the preppers were saying that pumpkin pie filling was nowhere to be found, so I bought some just in case. Also, you're going to notice a lot of carbs, a lot of stuff that's not healthy per se. We try to eat fairly low carb here, but we also have a lot of carbs. I put in the prior video to this on our inventory, but I showed how I date everything. So everything gets a date. Those are not those are the best buy dates. That's not when I put it up, obviously. So we don't consider that expired. I won't go into all that right now, but that's just for rotation. So we do food rotation. So when we get something new, we put it in the back. And it's kind of like in plain sight or in plain view inventory. And then this is my dry prep area, this table here. A couple of dehydrators. Let's see if I can't pause this real quick so I don't make too much racket here. I just pulled that lid off there, but I got 9 racks of mushrooms that are just cooling off right now. I just turned it off before this video, so they're all ready. And we'll put those in a jar similar to those. It will not be vacuum packed because we go through them too quick. So that'll go into our kitchen pantry, and we'll just use it. There's a bunch of water right there. I found those at BJ's, and I bought 4 for $5 a piece. I bought 4 more next time I went there. The next time I was going to buy 8, until I looked at my receipt and realized, I'm not paying $5 a piece. I'm paying $5 a piece plus a $5 deposit for the container. So I hadn't paid attention to that close enough. So I don't know. I mean, $10 for 5.5 gallons of water, that's a lot of money. Those are pretty sweet containers though, because they are stackable and they can go sideways. That right there is what happens when you put a sticky mouse trap upside down on your carpet. It doesn't come up. I ruined my carpet. Again, this is all temporary anyway. And this right here is just my desk. This is where I do my blogging and pay my bills and all that kind of thing. Had to turn that computer off. It was making too much fan noise. That's my charging station. I have got a blog post on hotblogtips.com on that. And I think right now I'm up to 7 charging kits for various bags. There's 4 of them right there. But the rest of them are in the packs, which are in the vehicles. That's kind of like, that shelf right there is kind of like a convenience shelf while I'm sitting here. And I bought these turntables, or whatever they're called. Lazy Susans, that's what they're called. I bought these for $1 a piece. I found them at Walmart. So I just put stuff that doesn't need an entire row. Down there are juices, then the oddball stuff that, like I said, doesn't require its own row on a shelf. Here we got relish and pickles and asparagus, a whole bunch of peppers, and then some green beans and jalapenos. Canned. Now most of our canned stuff is at a off-site location. So most of the stuff here is store-bought. You'll see a little bit of it, and I'm canning a bunch of chicken right now. So a lot of the bins and the jars, they don't stay here. Pancake syrup, so you'll see it says 3. I explained that in a video just before this, but that's part of my inventory system, but I'll go through over that in a second. Mustards, ketchup, barbecue sauce, Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, hot sauce, steak sauce, all that stuff. Plenty of oils, tartar sauce, mayonnaise, Miracle Whip. So just condiments on here. Up here is my food, what do you call it? Packaging. Preservation, is that the right word? And those are just canning jars and lids and stuff. And then here's some quick packets, a lot of instant stuff. Mashed potatoes, gravy, rice, and some tuna and that type of stuff. Up there is this overflow. I don't think you're going to be able to see much of that because I can't reach that high. But it's like extra, mostly extra proteins. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's all that is extra protein up there. And then this is all my Keystone, other than what's on that overflow over there. So I'll go over this real quick. So you'll see it says 26 cans for pork, chicken, beef. Over there I have chicken breast, 26 cans, corned beef, 26 cans, Spam, 26, tuna, it says 52, and canned ham, it says 26. Tuna because they're smaller. So what that amounts to is 1 can for 2 of us for a day. So that's actually 8 days. But if you went with 7 days, I went 8 because better safe than sorry. A little extra can't hurt. But if you took 6 months and broke it down to the weeks, and then so you'd have 26 weeks. So there's basically 26 weeks or 1 day for those weeks. I know that's probably not making sense, but 26 cans for each one of these is 6 months. So 1 day we'll have pork, 2nd day chicken, 3rd day beef, all that type of stuff, on, and then we have 6 months. We actually have quite a bit more than that because there's 12 on a row, so we have 36. Is that right? 12? Yeah, 36 cans of each, and we need 26, so there's 10 over plus the extra day, which isn't complete because we gave a bunch of it away. We gave a bunch of gave a bunch of ham away. Plenty of Spam, plenty of chicken breast, corned beef. Make my own bone broth. A lot of that's off-site now. Then we buy a little bit of it. Corned beef hash is more protein. Chili with beans, and it's got the hamburger in there. There's some more. Then we have overflow. All that back there is just overflow. It wouldn't fit. Same with all this shelf here. This is just stuff where we was running out of room. And then down here we have fruits, canned fruits. Back there a little bit of applesauce. Here's some salsa I made. And then a bunch of dried herbs and vegetables. Those are vacuum sealed. Back there's all kinds of gifts. So those are chocolate chip cookie mix. Mason jars. Down there in the bottom, 5-gallon buckets of rice and beans. I'll show these bins in a little bit here. Start at the top. There's some mushrooms, and all this is like, I don't know, I won't say extra, but a lot of stuff that we can just basically shop right out of our pantry. Plenty of salts, canning salts, peppers, shelf-stable milk, and then we go down into vegetables. And the top cans are overflow. So those go 5 deep. So you'd see 10 carrots, 10 mixed vegetables, 10 diced tomatoes, or potatoes I mean. And we got a bunch of whole potatoes back there. Wax beans, beets, lima beans, corn, 2 rows of corn, and then cream corn, 2 rows of cup green beans, and a whole row of mixed green beans, a row of French style green beans, leaf spinach, and 2 rows of sweet peas. So I'm going to back up a little bit because I want to mention something. So if we have to stay here for an extended period of time, we have to actually start eating this way instead of fresh meats and vegetables and all those vegetables I just showed you. That's why so much of this. Oops. So we don't use that much soy sauce, hot sauce, barbecue sauce, ketchup. We don't use that much. But I put 4 Worcestershire, 4 soy sauce. I did that to mix in with this and the beans and the rice, just to spice things up, just to make it easier and tastier. So if that makes any sense. Then over here we've got a bunch of beans, canned beans, some soups, an extra do not touch manual can opener. We have a couple in the kitchen, but the time to start looking for that is not when the power just went out. Plenty of tomato products, sauces, diced, whole tomatoes. Those are tomatoes and tomato sauce that I canned myself. All kinds of the chunky soups. Again, we got a bunch of extra. I think it's all back in there. Overflow. But variety of Campbell's, some yams and holiday stuff, cranberry sauce, cranberry, see it's jellied, and then a whole berry. Down there is just more kitchen stuff, overflow. That right there is 5 gallons of hand sanitizer. I won't go into opening these drawers, but there's like ones for knives, ones for flashlights, my Mylar bags, and all that kind of stuff's in there. Like I mentioned, the top shelf is mostly bulk and overflow. And then I have my canning stuff here. So what I do is when we go to BJ's or Costco and we have the budget for it, or if things are on sale, I usually grab a case or two or something, and it starts adding up after a while. Down there's coffee, teas, some extra sugars, brown sugar, confectioners. There's some jellies, some of it I canned. It's all dusty. I love jalapeno jelly. Some peanut butters. We go through all this. This isn't, none of this goes to waste. I like to keep everything within sight. So I like glass jars. None of this is vacuum packed, by the way. This is a living pantry. It's not for long term. But I can see, like right here, my black eyed peas starts getting low. I'll break open a bag and refill it. I let it get a little lower next. I like to put just fresh stuff on the bottom. More jellies that I can. That's all. That's grape, so we got enough grape to last a lifetime. More kitchen stuff. All that's kitchen stuff. We have some 5-gallon buckets. Have my canning lids, or not the lids, but the I'm gonna get down here. Down there is, I think that's salt, and not even sure. I know one of those back there is homemade or mixed laundry detergent that I mix together. Down here we have some Augustin Farms white wheat and rolled oats. Back up a little bit. There's almost no room to walk. Some more bins, and down there's more vacuum packed. Some of it is, some of it isn't. Dry goods, flour, baking powder, baking soda, dried milk, some beans, some rice, some wheat berries. My wife loves that fish fry, so we get plenty of that. Some vinegars, some sugar or flour, and then some more beans and coffee, cornmeal, rice, that type of stuff. And there's some little canisters. Up here above the shelf, the drawers I was showing you. These bins have a variety of things, but the first three are overflow medical supplies. Kind of like a refill station for what I first showed you. The first aid packs and the first aid kits. And we have a bunch of gear. Believe it or not, I got rid of, I'd say 2/3 of that. Gave it to the kids. And then I have more bags down here. Then every car has a kit. Actually, a couple of them. Then I got ammunition, 5.56 mags, 22 long, 38 and 357, 5.56, 12 gauge, plenty of 9mm. This is my Edc shelf. Got a little safe there. I took the handguns out. That's maybe for another video, maybe not. And up here with my printer is my fun shelf. Entertainment shelf, whatever you want to call it. Up there in those boxes, just because I seen a space that needed filled, I put some extra paper towels and I I think paper plates and that type of stuff up there. We have more drawers here. I'll pause this real quick. Alright, so we got like tapes, batteries, camera gear, that type of stuff. Just want to give you an idea what was in there. And then in these bins here, I just put those back there. I'm actually considering going and getting some more and just stacking them all the way up. But on top of each bin, it says what's in there. So this is 4 1-pound bags of cane sugar, 1 bag of dehydrated potatoes, and 1 bag of black-eyed peas. So I picked quite a bit. There's 8 or 9 racks in this 12 by 12 room. Not a lot of room to move around in. And I'm continuously trying to rearrange to get things to fit. And since it's still quiet, relatively quiet in the house, I think I'm going to pause this and pull out a couple of bins and let you check that out. Alright, so that bottom bin was just cleaning supplies, Clorox wipes, cleaners, disinfectants, that type of thing. This bin here is more PPE, a bunch of hand sanitizers, masks. We have a bunch of N95s, homemade masks, surgical masks. These are pretty convenient. I picked these up at Rite Aid, and I keep them in the car. So if you go to the ATM machine, you don't want to use an entire glove, these are pretty easy. Just throw one on, use the ATM, pushing the buttons, throw it in the trash. Below there is a bunch of nitrile gloves. So it's pretty full. So the 3 bins that was stacked here, so basically paper plates, a little bit of toilet paper, paper towels, trash bags. This bottom one has 6 all these are 1 gallon bags. 6 1-gallon Mylar bags of pinto beans, 5 black-eyed peas, 5 Great Northern beans, and 2 dried sliced potatoes. By the way, those dried sliced potatoes, those are commercially done. I dehydrate my own as well, but I don't vacuum pack those because I can't be sure of the moisture level. So those are what we use for our living pantry. Those in the Mylar bags, I expect those to be good for a year or 2 at least. Alright, these 3 bins that was under the shelf. Now this is a very heavy bin, and it's all vacuum sealed, a variety of everything. We have oatmeal or dried oats. I don't even remember. Potato flakes. This right here is drink mix, salt, sugar. If we have to get into that bin, things have gotten pretty bad. Most of our bathroom and kitchen stuff are in those rooms. I actually put racks up in the bathroom as well, but that's what wouldn't fit. So more trash bags, Dawn dishwashing detergent, extra bins of laundry detergent, that type of thing. This one here is just more hand sanitizer. Now I know some people are going to think that's hoarding. We give a ton of this away, and we have that 5 gallons there, all of that and what you see in that other bin. And I understand it seems like a lot. Now when this thing first started, we gave away almost all of ours away, including every single N95 mask we had. Oop, somebody's here. Alright, false alarm. Dogs bark at everything. I don't think I'm going to pull those bins out. It's just salt, sugar, and flour. This right here is all salt. Salt can be important. Along with, I've got plenty of mason jars and lids and that type of thing. So if the power went out, we have 3 freezers, and we got to get really busy. We got about, if we reserved it, we've got about 4 weeks of fuel for our generators. So we'd have to get real busy canning, using outdoor canning propane stove, and preserving. And salt can play a huge role in that. I think that's pretty much it. You can see you can fit quite a bit in a small room if it's dedicated for it. Now I've moved a lot of stuff out. Oh, I forgot one thing. I'm sorry. Let's move back over here. My closet. I call it the water closet. So you've seen all that water that I just bought. We also have, I don't remember if it's 4 or 5, 55-gallon drums in the backyard for water catchment. And I have all these. So there's 6, 12, and then 13, 14, 15. So 15 5.5 gallons. And then water purification tabs, water filters. I even got a couple extra life straws in there. And we started out with just the juice bottles, triple washed, took them to Walmart, filled them with their filtered, purified water, kept them up, and they don't expire. Same with those down there. And I think that's it. I think I'll close this thing out. I just recommend that you use things, or you store things that you use. Like I said, this isn't the healthiest food, but when you're trying shelf stable, that gets a little difficult. And like I said, we have 3 freezers. We dehydrate a lot. We garden a lot. So we have our own fresh vegetables, but we do purchase our meat when we can from local farms. And we also can a lot. So like I mentioned, we don't keep a lot of that here. We're trying to develop an off-site place just in case we have to go somewhere else for whatever reason. Also, I worry about losing everything in something like a fire. So it's that whole 1 is none, 2 is, or 2 is 1, 1 is none. Yeah, so I feel like having 2 stockpiles, if you want to call it stockpiles, is probably a better option. Plus, we have a trailer and a pickup, and if we need to, that's the original front door of the house that we no longer use, and it would be nothing to back up to that and start loading up. And I also have extra bins in the garage. It's these black and white ones. We have a dozen of those in the garage. So they'd get really heavy filling them up with canned goods. But we could get it done if we had to, if we had time. Alright, well, I gotta get to work. I gotta put up my dehydrated mushrooms and start canning some chicken. I also have 2 pork shoulders I need to smoke. Alright, that's it. I hope this helped, and I want to just mention one other thing. This is not Brian Hawkins bragging or anything like that. I hope to inspire people. There's a lot of preppers that have way more than this. I understand that. This is between 6 months and a year for my wife and I. Maybe a little less for the entire family, or certainly a lot less for the entire family. But I don't want this to seem like we're bragging here. I just want to give some people some ideas and maybe offer a little inspiration. And that's all we got. Alright, Brian Hawkins, Next Step Survival. Stay safe, stay prepared.